Omega fanboys are often upset with me because I can't bring myself to fully love Omega as they are right now. I really like Omega as a brand, and most of their watches I really like. But there's always a small problem that is just big enough to prevent me from purchasing, like the bracelet or the thickness. And I know these are small issues, but when we're talking about spending thousands of pounds or dollars on a watch, I think we're allowed to be picky and scrutinize small details. I feel like I always like Omega in theory. I always like the idea of a watch, or 95% of a certain watch. So today, I'm going to do my best to design my dream Omegas and address my problems with every line in their modern catalog. Quick disclaimer to the Omega people before we get started. This is really just my opinion. It's highly subjective, and Omega pays a lot of money to very qualified designers to design their watches. So I wouldn't overthink what a watch YouTuber has to say. A watch YouTuber who's wearing a Moonswatch at that. The taste level, it needs to be called into question here. Let's start with the Seamaster family. So the Seamaster has 5 lines: the Aqua Terra, Diver 300, Planet Ocean, Heritage models, and instruments. Starting with the Aqua Terra, I am a really big fan of these, and on several occasions I've been very close to purchasing one. This is Omega's go anywhere, do anything line, but it's that little bit more elevated with lots of polished surfaces, including polished center links on the bracelet variations. In the specifications department, you really can't argue with these. Available in the most popular sizes: 41mm, 38mm, and 34mm, 150 meters of water resistance. The 41mm is powered by the Omega Caliber 8900, and the smaller variations, the Omega Caliber 8800, which is the same movement that is in the Seamaster Diver 300. The 34mm has a slightly more feminine feeling, with the rice-shaped indices and round date window, feeling almost fluid, while the larger sizes feel a little bit more aggressive with the triangular indices. All around, a fantastic watch. I don't think there's anything I would change about these. I really like these. The only reason I chose the Rolex Oyster Perpetual over the Aqua Terra is because I wanted a brushed bracelet and not polished center links. That's it. That's the only reason. And I still don't think I would want Omega to change the polished center links. I kinda like how this feels more elevated. I think it attracts a different person, but maybe they could add a brushed, sportier offering as well. Now, let's talk about my dream meal, the dreamiest way to eat food, and this is where today's fabulous video sponsor, HelloFresh, comes in. I've been trying to eat healthier, but with a busy life, everything's on the move, on the go, I struggle to find time to go grocery shopping, meal prep, then cook the food, and try new recipes. And this is exactly what HelloFresh remedies. If you aren't as familiar with them, they are a meal kit service with step-by-step recipes and fresh, pre-proportioned ingredients delivered straight to your door. If you're like me, with a serious case of recipe boredom because you're making the same things over and over again, you need to check out HelloFresh. They offer so many recipes that will fit your dietary preferences, like meat and veggies, plant-based, family-friendly, quick and easy, pescatarian, and so many more. And sometimes life changes, things move around, and HelloFresh totally gets that. That's why everything is tailored to your schedule. You can change your delivery date, and even skip a week when you're not able to cook at home. HelloFresh has more options than ever before. With over 50 dinner options, they will save you time, save you money, and bring some more variety into your life. Each box is fully customizable for the picky eaters out there, and it is all pre-proportioned, so you only pay for what you need. I am such a big fan of them. I love what they're doing. And if this sounds like something you need in your life, go click the link that is in my description, get yourself subscribed to HelloFresh. It's quick and easy, and make sure you use my link so they know I sent you and they want to keep partnering with me forever and ever. And thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Moving on to a watch where I have a few more amendments, the Speedmaster Diver 300. I think this is the most charming watch in the Omega catalog, and the watch with the most glaring missed opportunities. So this serves as their entry-level piece, being really well priced for what it is at £5,600 for the standard variation. I have 3 big problems that won't surprise anyone who regularly watches my channel: the size, the bracelet, and the bezel. Starting with problem 1, the smallest size of the Diver 300 is 42 millimeters, and it's a large feeling 42 millimeters with the 13.6 millimeter thickness, helium escape valve at 10 o'clock, and we will be talking about the helium escape valve, and scalloped bezel. Now, for many people, these are selling features and not faults. Many people have larger wrists, so this really suits them. But honestly, I think Omega is isolating a lot of people by not having a smaller offering. Anyone with a smaller or even average sized wrist just can't participate. I'm trying to decide how deep in on this to go. Do we go all the way? I think let's just fully geek out. No half measures. So in recent years, there have been 2 big updates to the OMEGA Seamaster Diver 300. In 2012, when Omega launched the ceramic bezel, and then in 2018, enlarging the case to 42 millimeters, updating to the Omega in-house coaxial caliber, and discontinuing the mid-size Seamaster. I think these were all the right choices at that time, but now it kind of needs an update again, as many years have passed, and as watch tastes are beginning to change. I would love to see Omega reintroduce the mid-size model in 37 millimeters rather than 36 millimeters, still with the coaxial 8800 movement, which should fit no problem. I think we'd see a lot of people get really excited about this. We've been seeing Tudor test the waters with the introduction of the Black Bay 54. Omega has the heritage for a mid-size diver, and I think there's a big market for it. Oh my gosh, this is taking forever. We're only on problem number 2, but the next problem is the bracelet. I am not even going to bother laboring on about this one. Just give it a taper. It would wear much nicer, and maybe having a 3-link option like with the reference 225450. Now, I said we'd be coming back to the helium escape valve, and this is that magical point in this video, and I think I might lose subscribers over this. But I don't actually hate the helium escape valve. At this point, it's become a Seamaster Diver distinctive. We have to accept that it isn't going anywhere. The only change I'd make is making it a bit shorter, a little less toothpaste cap-ish, akin to the earlier references. I feel like I could talk about the Seamaster Diver 300 all day. I'm going to stop now. I just think it is the line with the most missed opportunities, and they keep releasing models that no one is asking for. Like, the past few Seamaster Diver 300s have had some charming little updates like aluminium bezels and lollipop seconds hands, but the big thing people have been asking Omega to do is to update the bracelet and shrink the size. I don't know if Omega will ever do these things, but it's just those elegant little details that are missing for me. And if I'm spending around £5,000 or more on a watch, I need those details to be right. Next Seamaster, the Planet Ocean, and honestly, I don't have many bad things to say about this line. This is one of my all-time favorite dive watches. It's more of a dive instrument than something like the Diver 300, so the Planet Ocean has a depth rating of 600 meters and really corrects a lot of the problems I mentioned before. Available in 3 sizes, 39.5 millimeters, the more standard 43.5 millimeters, and then the ultra deep at 45.5 millimeters, but having a water resistance of 6 kilometers or 6,000 meters, which is unreasonably awesome and cool. I really, really like the Planet Ocean. I would seriously consider adding one of these to my collection if money was right. The only thing that has put me off before is the thickness at 16.1 millimeters, but this level of water resistance often comes with that thickness trade-off, and I don't think they should change that. It makes it feel more tooly and like, yeah, a proper diving instrument. No notes from me. What a waste of a section for me to just compliment it the entire time. Moving on to the Speedmaster. I love the Speedmaster. I've said it once and I'll say it again. The Speedy might be the most handsome watch ever made. I am lucky enough to own a vintage Speedmaster, so this is from my gorgeous, fabulous friend Owl. It is the kindest gift I've ever received, and this gets a lot of wear time from me. But, with all that said, there are some minor tweaks I'd make to the modern Speedy catalog. In my humble opinion, there's too much going on as it is right now. I would take out all the two-tone Speedmaster moon watches, only steel or only precious metal, no two-tone. Diamond bezel, gone. Now, if I had my way, I would also remove all of the sapphire crystal Speedmasters. Hesselite is the only way. It is the only correct answer. But since it's so popular, I think I would have to keep it, even though it's sacrilege. In fact, that's what I'd write around the display case back. Coaxial master chronometer. Sapphire is sacrilege. I didn't realize I had such strong feelings about this until right now. Moving on to the Speedmaster 38mm, and I would make some pretty big changes here. I actually really like the Speedy Reduced. I was pretty close to buying one around when they were introduced in 2018-2019 time. But there were two things that were big enough to get in the way of me actually purchasing one. For one, only being available with a sapphire crystal. Omega Master Chronometer, sapphire is sacrilege. And two, only being available with an automatic movement. For me, this just takes away from the two biggest Speedmaster distinctives, and I just can't reconcile it. My mind is too simple. The Speedmaster is one of those rare special items, being a manual winding chronograph. I love the idea of making the Speedmaster available in smaller sizes. I can even forgive the oval subdials, but the movement and crystal offerings need to be true to the DNA. Okay, let's talk about the Constellation now, and my feelings about this line has really softened over time. For a long time, I really disliked the Constellation, and to be honest, I'm still not sure if I personally would buy one. They kind of remind me of something Bulgari would design or something Bulgari would do. So this model family has evolved a lot over time and has grown quite distinctive. Something not a lot of people know is that Gerald Genta was very present in the revitalization of this collection. In the late 1960s and early 70s, Genta designed the C case. C as in Charlie, not the ocean. C case models characterized by its rounded, integrated lugs and baton indices. It has evolved so much since its introduction, and I think the whole model family just isn't for me. There isn't enough changes I could make to create a Constellation that wasn't a complete overhaul. But I should give credit where credit is due. The Globemaster falls under the Constellation, and I really, really enjoy these. The Globemaster feels like the continuation of the historical Constellation, with the fluted bezel and pie pan dial, just updated to modern sizes and build quality. This is a line I would love to see Omega put a little bit more love into, put a little bit more marketing into. I think there's a real audience for these. Okay, last but not least, there's one more Omega family, and that is the Ville. Aesthetically, I think it's really pretty, really classical dress watch sensibilities. They need to remove the center seconds hand. It has no place on a dress watch, and make it manual winding. To have a display case back on a dress watch and it's staring at a giant rotor. Omega, you can do better. You know you can do better. And I think this is a place where they could be really showcasing their movement making abilities. I'm getting really excited about this. I need to calm down. The last watch I want to talk about, and this might be the watch that disappoints me the most, is the Tracers. Specifically, the Tracers that are marketed towards women. So there are some more masculine models in 40mm, which are fantastic. But for the ladies, Omega is doing us dirty, and it makes me sad. I think the ladies' Tracer is an incredibly good looking watch. It's so pretty. I love how fluid the case feels. Scarcely do I like diamonds, but I actually like them on this case. I love the long, almost rhythmic and elegant Roman numerals. Like, this watch does it for me, but it's only available in quartz. The men's has this beautiful manual winding movement, but the ladies has no mechanical offerings, only quartz. Now, I'm not the biggest quartz hater. I have two-hand quartz dress watches, so I'm certainly not above quartz, but I think there should be a mechanical offering alongside the quartz. A lot of people criticize how much I love Rolex and why don't I love Omega more. Omega is so much further ahead in the movement making department and the innovations. And yet, Rolex doesn't have a single quartz model in their catalog. Even their itty bitty ladies Datejust are still mechanical. I'm not saying Omega's primary objective should be competing with Rolex, but they are a brand I associate with mechanical innovations, technical excellence, and there should be a manual winding option on the table. But anyways, guys, those are some of the changes I would make to create some of my dream Omega watches. Let me know in the comments down below if there's any like little tiny things that keep you away from buying Omegas. Did I get anything super wrong? I probably did. I'm not a designer by trade or very clever. If you're not subscribed, subscribe right now. Do it. And thank you once again to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. And my camera just died, but I'm not gonna get a whole new battery just to say, Pope tier patrons, get their names on the screen. Right, you know what it is, Pope tier patrons, the amazing names on this screen. You're fabulous, you're wonderful, you're the greatest people on earth. So, thank you so much for supporting my weird little channel. I hope you keep enjoying the content. I always try to be a little bit lighthearted with watches and not take it too seriously. They are just luxury goods that bring us joy, but I also try to remember people spend a lot of money on these luxury goods and people don't like hearing their watches being slagged off. So I hope this video didn't come across in that way. Just, you know, my opinions being super subjective. This isn't about me. This is about you. This is about these names. Thank you so much. You're amazing. You have never done anything wrong ever.